Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I am sweating because it's hot out here, but yeah, let's get on with it. Welcome back to my channel. This is a safe space where we discuss all hair related issues. I am not a medical professional, a trichologist, or dermatologist, but what I am is an experienced natural hair consultant, helping you nurse your hair back to life, or if you already have healthy natural hair, helping you maintain your hair so you continue to thrive. So let's jump right straight into it. I've got 3 topics to discuss today. Hopefully this video is not going to be long. I'm hoping not, because it's actually wash day for me. I need to get this sorted out. So my hair's like this because I let it dry naturally. I don't use hair dryer or any heat. I try and avoid it unless it's necessary. So here we are. Bear with me. So we're going to get straight to it. Welcome back, hair grease. Not that it went away in the first place. It shouldn't have went away, and people are still using it. So we're going to talk about it. Now, we have so much reports out there on the dangers of hair grease. Hold on, let me just adjust myself a bit because I feel like this is a bit too high. That's better. So we have so much reports out there on the dangers of hair grease and all the health risk issues that are related to it. But however, like I say, if it's still sitting on the shelf, then how bad could it be? So I'm not here to tell you to use it, not to use it, but if you are using it, I'm going to tell you the healthiest way that that you can use it and your hair can still thrive and you don't experience all the side effects of using hair grease. Majority of the things that we have out there for our hair, whether it's hair dye, hair relaxers, or even the products you put into your hair, there's a lot of science that goes behind it. If you use something incorrectly or you don't follow the steps in using them, then you are going to suffer some side effects. You are going to suffer from hair breakage because it might just be you're not using it correctly. It's not the product, is that you're not using it correctly. So I can't say too much bad things about hair grease. The only reason why I stopped using it and I just started making my own hair products. And if you want to try some of my hair products, please do. I've got them all on Etsy. So yeah, and I'll just attach the details below after this video. So you can give my products a try. Why not? You have nothing to lose. It's all about healthy hair. So anyway, going back to hair grease. So I can't say anything bad about it because I grew up on hair grease. Hair grease is why I still have some hair. The reason why I stopped using it is because I found it too heavy on my scalp. It irritated my scalp, and at the time that I was using it as a child, we didn't know much about hair products and what's healthy and what's not healthy compared to the things that we know now. So with it gaining its popularity, especially this one, Blue Magic, it's just come back with force. But Blue Magic, I didn't really use Blue Magic, and I can't say that this is one of my favorite hair grease, but I'm going to stick with Dax. If I have to go back to hair grease, I'm going to stick with Dax. Now, Dax, like I say, I never had problems with it. In general, I had issues with it being on my scalp just due to the ingredients. It just didn't agree with me. There's people that are still using it on their scalp and swear by it. There's different types of hair greases that have come out since Blue Magic and Dax, but they all kind of have the same theme for me. They're all very thick and moisturizing if you use it correctly. So for me, the reason why I've got these 2 tubs, and as you can see, they're still very much full. I haven't really touched them. So I got them not to use on my hair, but whenever I do braids and use hair extensions, I like to smooth the hair extension with the hair grease because it gives it a nice moisture to the coarse hair that you're already using, going to be adding onto your hair. So with those 2 mixtures together, I just find that when I smooth it out with hair grease, it keeps my hair moisturized because I've already used my own hair butter on my actual hair, which is keeping it nice and moisturized and healthy. So then the hair grease is really just for the extension to be able to seamlessly just blend in with my hair and just look a bit more neat. So therefore, because I hardly do extensions on my hair, if it's like the winter time, I'm sorry, I'm actually so hot. You just give me 1 second. I need to get a fan. And we have a fan. So excuse me about that. So sorry. So when people say to me, why don't you ever leave your hair out? This is exactly why. I won't stop sweating. Already, I sweat from my head. So it's like having it out is just extra issues. But that's a video for another day if you want to hear it. But going back to hair grease. So um, if you are going to use hair grease, for me, what I would say is avoid putting it on your scalp. Now, hair grease can sometimes have a tendency of blocking the hair follicles. And you know, your scalp, I go on about it all the time. Your scalp is the number one place that you really have to keep clean and take care of, because where else is your hair going to grow? So applying something heavy like hair grease. I've heard people use also hair butter on their scalp. Now, if you're getting my hair butter, please don't use it on your scalp, okay? It's for the ends of your hair, it's to moisturize the ends of your hair. I prefer to use scalp oil. And the reason why I prefer to use scalp oil, because I have acne prone skin. And when you use natural hair oils, and if you're someone like me that sweats from your head, when I sweat, clearly it's going to come down on my face. So I don't really experience breakouts unless it's time of the month or I've eaten really badly, like I haven't been eating healthy, then I am going to break out on my face. But I do have acne different parts of my body, but I'm still managing those. But when it comes to my hair and my face, I prefer oil, because when you sweat, it's easier for it to just leave you without causing you any harm or side effects. And with scalp oils, they're not there to actually grow your hair. So if a scalp oil says, oh, it's a hair growth oil, oil is to moisturize your hair. Your scalp already develops its own natural oils. So realistically, just adding something like a hair grease or a hair butter just kind of just sits on the surface of your hair, and then it creates buildup. Now, with mentioning buildup, you need to really distinguish between what is buildup, dry scalp, and what is dandruff, okay? That will help you determine what products and how to move forward in treating your hair. The majority of the things that we experience, if it's not coming from an internal medical issue, we can actually get rid of it ourselves, just, you know, having some knowledge on your own type of hair. I mean, I can tell you what I use on my hair and encourage you to try some of the products, but you know your own hair type, you know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So those are the things you actually need to make sure you pay attention to, okay? So with oils, for me, I find it easy to wash out. I can use a shampoo, I can use a moisturizing shampoo 1 week, and my hair is still going to be clean. But if I was to use hair butter or hair grease on my scalp, I would not be able to get that out as much as possible. So this is where you end up having product buildup. Now, I'm going to give you a little example. This is how a healthy product buildup looks like. And product buildup is basically sweat, the products that you've used, such as leave-in conditioners, your oil, anything that you've used on your scalp. After some time, when it dries up and all the ingredients marinate together, if you haven't washed your hair for some time, you're going to see white, flaky product buildup, and it's going to have an odor. This is the reason why I always encourage you to listen to your scalp and wash your hair then. You can stick to a routine, but for me, sometimes my routine is when my scalp speaks. So if my scalp is fine, it's minding its business, it's behaving very well, then I don't need to go ahead and wash it by the 7th day, because that's what it's said to do out there. I go according to what my hair needs. If I need to wash it in 3 days, then it's going to be washed. If I need to wash it in 7, 8, 9 days, it's going to be washed then, because it's all about my scalp. And that's what works for me. It might not work for you. So that's the reason why I wouldn't encourage you to put hair butters or hair greases on your scalp. For the ends of your hair, these are very moisturizing. I would always encourage you to firstly use a leave-in conditioner, because the leave-in conditioner is going to help you have that slip, right? It's a wet, lightweight product. It depends on the thickness of your hair. I don't mind it being lightweight, but if I was to just leave my hair with just a leave-in conditioner, my hair would not do very well. Whereas someone who might have softer and curlier hair than me, they can easily walk out with a leave-in conditioner and their hair is fine. In fact, adding a butter or a hair grease might weigh their hair down and just make the hair look really bland and weightless. But for someone like me that has 4C hair, the thickness is not a problem for my product, but build up can become a problem depending on how often you wash your hair. So the ends of your hair, if you have 4C hair grease, go ahead, absolutely fine, but make sure you use a leave-in conditioner, so then the hair grease, a tiny bit, a pea size of the hair grease can blend. You just blend it into your palm of your hand and just rub it on the ends of your hair. That is more than enough to keep your hair nice and moisturized until your next wash day. Now, if you're struggling with product buildup, often because of what you put into your hair, and if you are going to use something heavy like hair grease or butters, I would always encourage you to use a clarifying shampoo. Now, if you wash your hair every week, it's not necessary for you to use a clarifying shampoo every week, because clarifying shampoo can actually dry out your scalp, which can cause the opposite effect. Rather than your hair being squeaky clean and healthy, it's going to be extremely dry, which also damages the hair growth system. So you need that kind of happy medium balance. So for me, myself, because I use oils and butters and leave-in conditioners, and I wash my hair in a hot summer weathers like this, I'm prone to wash my hair every week. So I would just use a shampoo. Okay, I would use a shampoo and follow it up with a moisturizing shampoo. Now, if it's colder months, and I have got a hairstyle such a braid or a cornrow, which I would stretch it to last me at least 14 days, I would use clarifying shampoo twice a month. So if I have a hairstyle that I've kept for the past 2 weeks, I would definitely use a clarifying shampoo and then follow it up with a moisturizing shampoo. Clarifying shampoo to get all the products out, to completely strip my hair, and then moisturizing shampoo to bring back that bit of moisture and softness, so then I'm able to comb out my hair, manage it, and style it. That's the thought process of it. So yeah, hair grease has made its return. I've never disrespected it in the first place. And if it works for you, go ahead and use them. Just how you use them, if you follow those steps, then I'm sure you would be fine. Like I say, I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a trichologist, and I'm not a dermatologist. If you experience any issues in relation to using any of the stuff that you're thinking about using, always discontinue, and then just go back to the routine that you were using before. If you still experience the same issue, then it's time for you to speak to a medical professional. So that's my advice. Okay, so that's about hair grease. So we're moving on. Another topic that I wanted to discuss is that I came across quite a vulnerable a video on Instagram from a creator, and I just feel like being on the other side, having natural hair, and being a teenager, I did go through the phase where you saw people having wigs. Everyone was buying Brazilian hair at the time, and then Peruvian hair came, and then I don't know what type of hairs are out there right now, because I'm just not in that wig or extension world. But yeah, so that was my teenage years. So I did have the opportunity to experiment with different hairstyles, slicking my hair every day, relaxing my hair every 2 weeks, having tracks of weave in my hair, even though I had thick hair. And at the time, I didn't understand that people were using tracks to thicken their hair as well as the length. Whereas with me, I was putting in tracks in my hair for the length. Anyway, so I've had my experience in different hairstyles, but for me, it's never been a thing of where I've relied on it to give me confidence. I've always relied on my hair being done. Like if I cornrowing my hair at the front, the minute I see it frizzing up or any kind of mess, I used to take it out and just redo it again because I was obsessed with it being neat. I felt like as long as my hair is done and it's neat, I didn't care about my outfit. I didn't care about whether I had makeup on or not, but that was just my thought process at the time. So when I came across this lady's video, how she articulated and how she explained people, this might not apply to everybody, but it was just her experience, and I just wanted to share it with you, how she explained the thought process of continuously wearing a wig, sleeping in a wig. It just kind of backed what I've said in all my videos, what I've always been fighting for, is that everything has to start within. How you feel within about yourself is going to affect your external appearance. Now, for me, this is not ideal for everybody. I'm not telling everybody to do their hair like how I do my hair. I'm just sharing in case if you did want to do it, then this is how I do it, because every time people see me, they do ask me, how do you take care of your hair? And I'm more than happy to share. So, you know, but the way she explained her thought process and the psychological effects of her wearing wigs, I just think she's just amazing. I mean, when someone comes out and talks something so vulnerable about themselves, I just feel like it takes a lot of courage to admit that, and it does help someone out there, whether they want to admit it or not. Now, I didn't leave a comment underneath her post. I didn't DM her or anything, because one thing that I've realized about the internet, people are not always what they appear to be. And I'm not saying that about her. I'm just saying from my experiences from the past. People are not what they always appear to be. They seem nice online, and then when you meet them in person, you know how it goes. So yeah, so I didn't reach out to her, but I did want to kind of share her video and share her message, because I think it's such a valuable message and it might help someone. So yeah, have a look at this video and then we can come back and have our final thoughts.
This is probably one of the most hardest videos for me to make, but being a BOK woman is so hard. From the time when I was little and having to learn what beauty truly meant, baby, I grew up with short hair. I always got teased for having short hair. My hair never really grew because I started putting chemicals in it. Because in the eyes of them, you were only beautiful if you had perms and weaves and stuff. So I got really heavy into perming my hair, consistently putting weave into it. And what people don't want to talk about is how addictive wearing weave can be. I feel like I was only beautiful when I had wigs and weaves in my hair. And now that I am 30 years old, I am still suffering with the after effects of wearing it. And people don't talk about it. Some of y'all just say, oh, it's people expressing themselves or it's being creative. No, it's not. It's very much deeper than that. I am 30 years old and I cannot walk out the house without.
So as you can see, her hair, wearing a wig, really affected her confidence to a point where she couldn't even leave the house. Now, one thing about society, the beauty standards is always going to change. Sometimes things will be in, sometimes things will be out. Like there was a hate campaign about hair grease, there was a hate campaign about hair extensions, and then all of a sudden now everyone still wants to braid their hair with hair extensions. Everyone still wants to go back and wear and use hair grease. So expectations, standards when it comes to hair and beauty is consistently changing. So what I try and encourage you all to do, and this is something that I work on a daily basis. I don't always wake up and feel like, oh my God, I have so much confidence today. No, there's different experiences and traumas that you go through in your own life that can sometimes just make you feel like you just want to stay in bed. Now, that's just life, you know, but what I do encourage people to work on when it comes to your hair is to find a style and a lifestyle that suits you the long term. It's like exercising and dieting. There's no point of you starving yourself, eating salads all day to reach a certain goal for an event, and then after that event is over, you just put back the weight and you go back to being unhealthy. That's unsustainable long term. So you always need to find a routine when it comes to your hair, your appearance, your self maintenance, your diet. You need to find what not everybody, what you can sustain long term. For me, looking glamorous all the time, it's part time because I cannot sustain it every day. I feel like I'm overwhelmed with how much I have to do on a daily basis, with the many hats I have to wear on a daily basis. You know, I'm thinking about what I need to make for dinner, and I'm thinking about what I need to do for work. So it's like, for me, beauty and looking glamorous is just unsustainable for me. It's not that I don't know about it, it's not that I can't do it, I just don't have time and the willpower to maintain it. So I've picked a way that works for me. Now, for me, having a shower is very important. Smelling good is very important, and looking presentable is important, whichever way that looks for you. So for me, I can maintain looking presentable. That's where I'm at. So if you're someone that can maintain looking glamorous every day, then continue as you are. But at the end of the day, is about how you feel within yourself. Even if I walk out the street like this, I mean, obviously today's wash day, I'm not going to walk out like this, I'm hot. But even if I walked out like this and someone had something negative to say, I would often sit there and think to myself, okay, I didn't warrant that, I didn't ask for that. But you have to remember that sometimes people are just projecting, and for you to understand that, you need to have a certain level of confidence and believe in yourself in order to understand sometimes the negative things that people come at you, whether it's about your appearance, your character, or personality, especially if you haven't gone out your way to do anything to them. I just think it's self projection. And they might be, I hate to always come to that conclusion, oh, they're just jealous. I just think it's a bit, it's not always jealousy, but sometimes people may not like that you do something because that's how they want to look or that's what they want to do. And then now you're doing it. So it's creating a bit of like, oh, great. It could be for many reasons. But the point is, you need to work in yourself in the politest way and get to a point where certain opinions, learn to not explain yourself, because sometimes people just want to misunderstand you, you know? So, so I felt like what she shared, it helped someone like me who doesn't wear wigs, every day, to understand how serious it is for some people when it comes to their appearance, when it comes to their own natural hair. There's people out there that don't like how they look in their natural state. It really does mess up with their psychological mind. And that's not the aim. We're not trying to get you to have a breakdown or to really feel self-conscious about yourself. It's whatever that makes you feel good and carry on with your day and be out there. That's the aim of everything. So, on that topic, just continue to work on yourself and experiment more in your private time, or just experiment more, walk out with your natural hair and see if you can take people's, not just opinion, because people are not always going to come up to you and say exactly what they think. It's always people or you're close to that will do that. But the stares, or the staring of wondering, sometimes the staring of admiring, see how much that affects you internally. You got to take little minor steps. So if you can find a hairstyle that you can wear in your natural state that makes you feel confident and you can walk out, then that's the hairstyle you're going to have. So everything, it's step by step until you get to a point where you're completely relaxed within yourself. And if you never get to that point where you're completely relaxed within yourself in your natural state, if you are going to wear wigs for the rest of your life, it doesn't stop you from keeping your hair clean. It doesn't stop you from oiling your scalp. It doesn't stop you from looking after your own hair. It's better to have a plan B than to constantly just depend on plan A, because a plan A might become discontinued or not accessible. So you've got to have a plan A and B that you're all right either ways. So if you're looking after your hair underneath the wigs or even underneath the weaves that you have and you have access to your scalp, continue to look after that, because one day you might wake up just like how I did with relaxers and say, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to just have my natural hair. And that's what you're going to happen. At least you've got your natural hair ready for you to go. Now, lastly, I wanted to touch on, because I also saw a creator. I can't find his video. It was a very lovely gentleman, and I'm sure his delivery was not his delivery wasn't the I can't say he wasn't the best, but his delivery was a bit aggressive, but he had a point. And he was literally asking just creators in general that do all types of videos, whether it's food blog, travel blog, hair, just asking creators to be realistic of their potential. And his point was that there's people that are giving medical advice or are giving advice on what vitamins to take for your hair to grow, what food to eat for your hair to grow. And they're kind of selling you a dream and promising you hair growth. And what he was asking for creators to do was to not do that, because if you're not a medical professional and you're not a medical expert, period, you can't tell people what vitamins to take, you can't tell them what to eat. They need to actually go and see a nutritionist. They need to actually go and see someone that can actually take their blood sample, check their weight, someone who knows what they're doing when it comes to the internal. So I can't argue with that. I can honestly agree with him. Hence why I tell you straight up, I am not a medical professional. If you need medical help or is something medical related, you do have to speak to a medical professional, because they're not just going to advise you on your hair. It might be something internal that I can't share my opinion on. I'm not a trichologist. I'm not a dermatologist that can tell you how to treat your scalp, but I'm experienced because I have hair. I've helped people, nurse their hair back to health. That's what gives me the confidence to be able to give you some advice when it comes to hair related issues. And like I say, if it's not medical related, a lot of the hair stuff that you have, you can treat it at home yourself, and that's just by watching videos like this, asking other people questions, and just learning about your hair type and what your scalp needs. And in terms of like vitamins and things like that, I personally don't take vitamins for hair growth. I need iron supplements because I'm always tired. So that's the only thing that I take, but I can only share what I do. Okay, anything I do on my video, I am sharing what has worked for me, how I've helped other people, and what has worked for them. Anything deeper, than that, I can't really help you with, because I don't know you all individually. Why am I struggling to say that word? You get what I mean. I don't know you all personally. So I can't really tell you what vitamins are good for you, what hair products are good for you. I'm just sharing what I experienced in. Okay, I'm going to wash my hair now. It's getting late and I'm extremely tired. So yeah, these are the latest topics in the hair world that I've covered. I'm sure there will be more developments and more coming up. So we'll just keep talking about it. And if you like these type of videos, please subscribe and like, comment, and share all the usual stuff. So then we can just continue talking, developing, and keeping our hair healthy. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon.